Today is June the 10th, and it's 2016. It is roughly 10 a.m. I want to say sorry that didn't mention Gordie Howe has died. He was Canada's great hockey player, and we'll miss him. And thoughts and condolences to his family and friends. And we're all friends of Gordie Howe, of course. So I just wanted to mention that. And today, as we memorialize Gordie Howe, we remember that our lives are short, and he lived 88 years, but who knows how many of us will live that long or longer, and what does it really matter, a few more years, you know? The fact is, we're all going to have to understand something about life, and something about death, and something about what it's all about. And why we study physics and the sun is to understand the energy of life and the energy of us and what it all means, and whether or not it means anything. Philosophy could be that. You can look at nature and try to find yourself like a mirror, and that's what we should do, because that's what we are. And when we tweak nature, I don't think we really find who we are, and we won't get on the track where we're supposed to be if we synthesize too much. We need to go back to nature and find out that every cure that ails us is found in nature. So Zoe and I grieving Gordie Howe's death today, and it will be a memorial for Gordie this beautiful day, which was like Gordie's soul, and remembering that my mom and dad were a year older than he was, and how that is really significant in the scheme of things somehow, to me, my own personal history and story, and what it means to recapitulate on these histories and try to understand how we interrelate to people, places, things, and events, like your dream. The dream of your life. Your life is a dream. It is not reality. What we see is an illusion, and why that is, even though it's a pretty good illusion and it's very painful, that's a good trap too. The pain receptors keep us prisoners. But when we lose the trap, when we lose the body, we gain the spirit again, and we are human beings having a spiritual experience, not the other way around, right? Hold on. That's amazing vortex cloud there. Apparently there's going to be a vortex situation tomorrow, perhaps a tornado, I don't know. Anyway, we're fine, we're good with that. Had a lot of crosses here, X's actually, by airplanes over certain site markings. The portal, X, so go to Jane Jones Google Plus and see the interesting formations today. I call them formas. These X's, I don't know what they are exactly, but they were man-made, and wondering why they're going through the portal area. Maybe it's faster. It's similar to the Twilight Zone, where you do that sort of thing. I want to show you one huge cactus. Well, it's a cactus, but it's a Scotch pine cactus. It's not really a cactus. It's a thistle plant, they call. And then they'll take all these weeds down, but right now the bees, I haven't seen one honeybee yet. I've seen a lot of bumblebees, but they are not honey producers. I don't know what happened to the honeybees. But in nature, maybe they can't exist. It's a high UV today. Maybe that's it, what they're not telling us, or what they're telling us about Monsanto toxifying us. It's okay. It's hard to say what exactly it is. And yeah, so whatever it is, causing the honeybee's demise. And on the Cheerio box, you know how it has a bee that's not there, and it says help, buy more Cheerio, Honey Nut Cheerios and help the bees? Well, if they stop Monsanto, they'd sure help the bees, I'll tell you that much. And they're playing around with the DNA and putting human DNA into plants and vice versa. Some of it is overboard. I mean, of course, there's good genetics that can help people. you know, but it's got to be limited in some ways, or it could go really quite out of hand. And who knows how much synthesized we're going to get with a machine. Most of us have a smartphone today. Most of us use it constantly. It's an addiction because it's like having a brain. I guess you would call it an annex to your own brain, so that, look at pretty. You have other things you can use, you know. But whatever it is, I really think that we have to really get into those Bilderberg meetings and find out what are they doing to our future. What are they doing to our present? What kind of wars are they involved with? What kind of money are they trying to make out of dead flesh? What are they trying to do to us? Why are they killing the population? They don't figure that we as a populace are important, that they can just supersede us and not have us in these meetings that determine our future, our generations, our children's future, and our children's children's future. If we should be so lucky to have great-great-grandchildren, one day we do, we might not be alive to see it, but or relatives that have children, you know, or nobody that has children, or nobody lives, and coming to the end of time, and maybe this is what's going on with taking solar pictures every day. I see there is a change in the solar activity that we're not being told, that they're hiding. And I had quite a vision yesterday when I did some sun meditation. I saw some quarks coming out of the sun, and I saw that the sun was very, very bright. I don't know how many angstroms. They measure it in angstroms. The sunlight was extremely bright and pretty stream through there. But you know that the sun is really a reactionary item. It's sort of like a causal between two energies, that of matter and antimatter. And so in the middle you have the sun. Behind it all you have the great singularity. You have duality. You have the matter and antimatter. You have the electron force of the sun. And then you can find where you fit in the scheme of things. And the balance of all this is the key feature of the universe. The balance between these two inherent forces. So let's continue studying solaronics and figuring out what exactly is going on, because I have discovered a lot, right though? And I think you would too if you study every day the same thing, because you're concentrating and specializing in an area which allows you to understand nature a little bit more, because it relates to you directly. Plus you're in an anomalous area where the angles are variant, and so you're getting a truer picture of the active energy of the solar complex, of the solaronics. And I wanted to mention as well that this is a place which is a hallowed ground to the Huron natives and Iroquois in Canada, and the Petun family that is now in Oklahoma, and other native tribes, I think from Quebec as well, the Lorette Indians in Quebec. Now, interesting enough, my family history goes back to an area of the voyageurs. So maybe I'm associating this place with the voyageurs and with the shaman here, called the weather shaman. His name was Odajante, I believe pronounced Ondajante. Not sure how to pronounce that in the native Huron tongue, but it's he could, the reason why he was a weather shaman is because here you have weather anomalies and you can predict the weather probably all over the world in this area. And I'm studying that. I'm studying the ionic formations, which are similar to tarot cards or crystals or some kind of predictory, prophetic sort of thing. And so I can't go through there. Oh no, it's yeah, I've got to go through. Oh, all right, I think I know what she's doing. So anyway, I just thought I would tell you, let you know what's going on here. I'll let you look at the sun today, and the formus under it, which is like a snake, and there's a snake formus here who is an actual entity that they knew about. The Hurons were aware, whether they had eyes that could see ions or whatever, if the sky was different, they had eyesight that was better or whatever, that could happen, right? And so anyway, that's what happens, I guess. There's things that we just don't understand, and when we have these things happen and we begin to find these discoveries, it's because we delve deeper into the spiritual matters, not just the physical matters, because a lot of the information, as Einstein said, is found in creativity, and creativity comes from spirit, and spirit comes from the energy of the divine creator in all of us. I call the mother cell soul, which is the first cell before we split. So we have a bit of the great singularity within us, and that probably through Kundalini meets up. When we die, we go out the top of our head and we probably energize back into the form of originality, which doesn't have a material, I don't think, a material situation to it. Anyway, I just thought I'd tell you this today as we walk with Zoe and Jane on the walk of discovery and new adventures. I hope you enjoyed that today. Thank you. Have a good day.